from your national
I
security.
told them to shoot it down.
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
But
They're worried about a spy balloon flying across middle America. Let me tell them about the TikTok app.
Not as capable as this 80-year-old.
That album is so fire, it makes Trump want to learn Spanish.
We shot it down, yeah, no more balloon America, heck yeah. Some controversy around shooting the balloon down. Were there more balloons when Trump was in office? Are there still more balloons now? Find out next. Also, the Grammys were last night, and they went off the rails as they continued to do. Apparently, police in Miami decorated their vehicles not in a great way, and a huge earthquake in the Middle East. All that and more coming up on this episode of Daily Caller Live. My name is Jobob. Thanks so much for tuning in. Daily Caller Live starts right now.
2, 1.
Here we go!
That might be the only brown guy on earth named Jobob.
That is actually her name, Jobob.
Live from the dingy bunker, completely cut off from the outside world, except for you fine folks. My name is Jobob. This is Daily Caller Live. Thanks so much for tuning in on today. It is Monday, February 6th, the year of our Lord 2023. Hope you had a great weekend. Fun, relaxing, nice. Mine was fun, not at all relaxing. But such are bachelor parties and other family gatherings. Okay, so, all right, the balloon. We've the entire weekend, if you've been following the news cycle, has been taken up by this stupid balloon that is now transitioned in and identifying as rubble. But we shot down the big Chinese balloon that was traveling over the United States. If you missed that story for some reason, if you've been completely unplugged from the internet and the media and literally everything and conversations from other fellow human individuals, there was a big old Chinese weather spy balloon. Wait, no, sorry. Quote, weather spy balloon. It's not an actual weather balloon. My air quotes are on the wrong word. It was a spy balloon that the Chinese sent over. It came down from Alaska through Canada, then over Montana. And the directive from the president on Wednesday, apparently, supposedly, according to him, was to shoot it down. And then the military said, no, we should wait until it gets over, wherever. I don't know why we didn't shoot this stupid thing down immediately, but we got a clip of Joe Biden telling why that didn't happen. This is, I believe, on Thursday. It was either Thursday or Friday. Because this whole thing was becoming a huge story. It supposedly got spotted on Wednesday. On Thursday, everybody kind of started talking about it like later in the evening. Friday, we mentioned it on this show, but that was really when it got to its like peak of popularity, so to speak. And then Friday, I was hanging out with a bunch of guys, and somebody said, "Oh, we shot it down." We're cool. And then come to find out, Saturday morning, it hadn't yet been shot down. And then Saturday early afternoon, yeah, we did finally actually shoot it down. So there's that. So anyways, this is what Joe Biden said regarding whether or not he was going to shoot the balloon down, and got a little bit testy with some reporters getting off of Air Force One. Again, talking about the balloon. Check this out, and we will discuss on the other side. Also, if you haven't already, would really, really appreciate if you click the little like button and the little share button or the little comment section. Let us know what you think about the balloon. Should we have shot it down more immediately? I would love to hear your thoughts. My opinion or thought is shoot that sucker down the second we find out about it. We'll talk about that after, because I have some strong opinions here. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Again, you wouldn't believe how much it helps if you click the little like button. That's all you do. That's great. Watch this from Joe Biden talking to the press.
Briefed on the balloon. I ordered the Pentagon to shoot it down on Wednesday as soon as possible. They decided, without doing damage to anyone on the ground, they decided that the best time to do that was as it got over water outside within the 12-mile limit. They successfully took it down, and I want to compliment our aviators who did it, and we'll have more to report on this a little later. Thank you.
Mr. President, what did you say about China? What's your message to China?
You were saying the recommendation was from your national
I
security.
told them to shoot it down.
On Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
But the recommendation
They said to me, let's wait till the safest place to do it.
What does this mean for China, relations with China?
All right, so there's actually some more stuff going on here. Oh, there's the actual balloon explosion that we'll watch together in just a couple seconds. A couple things that I think are fascinating here. One, the idea that Well, the balloon's over Montana, and we need to make sure that nobody's underneath the balloon or anything like that. I don't know if the president or anybody that works at the Pentagon has ever been to Montana. Not a lot of people there. In just as a whole, a lot of open space, like a lot of open space. Could have very easily shot it down then. I don't know what the calculation was. They're probably now. There is some speculation that possibly it was because the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, was meeting with Xi, and they wanted to be, when Xi's like, hey, why are you guys building bases in the Philippines? Holy cow. Lots of tangents going on here. Okay, so if you didn't know this, the United States is building 4 new or commandeering 4 military bases in the Philippines, which is about 96 miles away from Taiwan, which is going to be a big controversial point when China doesn't decide to attack. Secretary Blinken, Secretary of State of the United States, was meeting with Xi Jinping, the dictator of China, and it's possible, some people have the theory that it's possible that when Xi was like, hey, what's going on with these bases in the Philippines, Blinken could say, well, what's going on with this balloon that's floating overhead? That doesn't seem like a good reason to me, but maybe that's possibly something to do with the reasoning. The big reason that Joe Biden said, well, is safety. Again, like we mentioned, there's a lot of open space in Montana. It probably would have been fine if you shot it down right then and there. And the last thing that I'm super curious about is, did we know? It would seem like there are several mechanics on that balloon. It was several... meaning that it could have been guided in some way, shape, or form. Who's to say that the thing wasn't going to just float and hover over Washington, D.C., as it literally made its way across the entire country before we did anything about it? Doesn't seem like, I don't know, that was the best move to make in terms of just letting it continue to go. What if it had drifted north and just hovered over Washington, D.C.? Now, all of a sudden, we don't have a possibility to shoot it down other than towing it in a certain direction with a helicopter, which totally could have been done, again, over Montana to a big flat plane. We could have towed it and shot it down there. Bottom line is, doesn't make a whole lot of sense why we waited for so freaking long to shoot this stupid thing down over the water. Again, maybe I'm missing something crazy, but who knows? Anyways, let's watch this balloon thing. And then there's more fallout over the balloon, including a bunch of lefties, big time lefty outlets, just flat out freaking lying about stuff. Anyways, watch this. This. I'm sure you've seen this video clip a bajillion times, but this is the balloon getting shot down with an American-made missile. Boom! No more balloon. Bye-bye balloon. Balloon transitions into rubble and ceases to exist as of Saturday mid-morning-ish, late morning, early afternoon. Tiffany says it wasn't shot down in Canada. Okay, so check this out. All right. So this is fascinating. Marcel says never would have happened under President Trump. I probably agree with that. But then the narrative all changed. This is what I think is what's weird about this story. Not weird necessarily, but just crazy. So after the balloon gets shot down, on Sunday, a bunch of your big-time lefties went on Twitter and social media and started kind of pummeling this new theory that a bunch of balloons, up to 3, existed while Trump was in office. Now, I saw that story on Sunday morning. My cousin showed me the story. He's like, hey, look at what Twitter's saying. There's apparently a bunch more balloons when Donald Trump was in office. And I go, that seems, I don't know, I'm open to anything. If they can have justifiable proof that actually happened, I would say, yeah, go for it. Then I guess we need to talk about that too. But that was the theme on Twitter the next day after the balloon was shot down. It was like, well, people giving Biden a hard time for not shooting this down. Look, they had 3 balloons happen over or under Donald Trump. CNN even said the transitioning of 3 transisting of 3 suspected Chinese spy balloons over the continental U.S. during the Trump administration was only discovered after Joe Biden took office, a senior administration official told CNN on Sunday. The official did not say how or when those incidents were discovered. The official said the intelligence community is prepared to offer key briefings of Trump administration officials about the Chinese surveillance program. So even CNN Politics Online saying that, well, on Sunday, a senior Biden official told us that there was 3 balloons that were over the United States, the continental U.S., when Trump was in office. One, given modern technology, it is hard to imagine that some stargazer with a big telescope wouldn't have recognized that, a private citizen going, hey, what the heck is that big balloon thing up in the air, and notified the media. It's hard to believe that didn't happen. 2, it seems like CNN just kind of, a bunch of the news media outlets just kind of run with whatever story they think is damaging to conservatives / freedom lovers / Trump more specifically. Unnamed White House official talking about, whatever. Now, the article does continue to go on, but it's interesting that they opened with that because now the defense secretary, Trump administration defense secretary Mark Esper, if you remember his name, told CNN Friday that he was surprised by the statement of anybody saying that there was a balloon over the United States when Donald Trump was in office. So Mark Esper, Donald Trump, former president, said on True Social, there was no way something like that happened during my administration. And remember John Bolton, mustache guy, the former national security advisor to Donald Trump? He is a serious man and not a fan of Donald Trump. Even he came out over the weekend and was like, what are you guys talking about? So this whole narrative that there were 3 additional balloons when Donald Trump was in office seems to be just kind of made up out of nowhere, and the entire media and lefty side of the aisle, especially on Twitter, just went with it, and they just made it up. Trump himself, which again has his own political leanings, I get that. Mark Esper, who's a serious guy, there's no reason for him to lie. He could be like, yeah, they were different because this, that, and this. He just said, no, we weren't ever briefed on any of this. And then John Bolton, again, not a current fan of Donald Trump. Remember, John Bolton has come out very, very critical of the former president, comes out, which again, no reason to. He has no reason to stand in front of a camera or say anything. But he comes out over the weekend and is like, what are you talking? No, that didn't happen at all. So this whole idea that Joe Biden waited too long for the balloon, which I think he did, and I think a lot of people agree that he did, in order to not at all acknowledge that Joe Biden made any sort of mistake with the balloon, the entire media just makes up a story that Donald Trump didn't act on 3 different balloons. As of right now, and again, I'm more than willing to see, as of right now, that seems to be totally and entirely fabricated with regards to this whole balloon incident. I'm trying to refresh Twitter because there were some hilarious tweets that happened. Of course, now it's just not working. There were some hilarious tweets. Oh, here we go. I've saved it. Look at this. This guy named Harry Sisson. I'm not sure who he is, but he tweeted. This is on Saturday, within 45 minutes of the balloon. These 2 tweets are within 45 minutes of each other. I know we're kind of going all over the place here, but I promise you this is funny. The tweet says, Republican politicians saying we should just shoot down the spy balloon don't understand the complexity of the situation. Do they think they know more than professionals in our military? That tweet was at 2:11 p.m. On Saturday. And then at 2:49 p.m., not even an hour later, 30 minutes later, the same guy tweets, breaking, the Chinese spy balloon has been shot down. Thank you, President Biden, and importantly, to our terrific military. Again, the whole ideological side thing. How about we just all agree as Americans? Let's shoot the dang thing down. And if Joe Biden deserves criticism for not shooting it down quickly enough, let's go ahead and criticize him for not shooting it down quickly enough. Holy cow, there's a lot going on there. Speaking of the balloon and speaking of China, there's a lot of people. I think there's even like some military general a couple weeks ago that mentioned we probably will be in a war. Wow, it's interesting comments in the comment section. There's some generals saying we'll probably be in a war with China by 2025. That's, you take it or leave it with that, what that is. But this I thought was fascinating. Senator Tom Cotton went on Fox's Sunday show with Shannon Bream who hosts that, and was talking about China and the spy balloon, and said some interesting stuff. There's going to be a big push to regulate/moderate technology at the federal government, I think, on a bipartisan standpoint. So this is fascinating. Watch this. Again, this is kind of a hard transition, but also still relating to China and the war that's impending, whether or not it's a Cold War or an active war, who knows. But watch this. Tom Cotton on Fox this weekend. Fox Sunday.
This morning.
China has been waging a Cold War against the United States for decades. And unfortunately, not many of our leaders have acknowledged that. They want to deny that it's happening. But when a nation like China is waging a Cold War against us, the only choice is whether to win or to lose. I think this spy balloon that so vividly went across America is a very high-profile reminder to Americans about what the Chinese communists have been up to. Because I got to tell your viewers, if they're worried about a spy balloon flying across middle America, let me tell them about the TikTok app that they may have on their phone and what it means for their security and their privacy and that of their children as well.
And it seems like there's a lot of bipartisan pushback and call for us to do something more about that as well, if not outright banning.
The audio was not synced up there very well. But bottom line is Tom Cotton saying, hey, you're worried about a Chinese spy balloon. Yeah, that is bad. But also TikTok. There seems to be kind of a bipartisan push to ban the Chinese-owned TikTok social media platform from the United States as a whole, which, I don't know, could be a good move. I would probably be in support of that. Having said that, I would imagine there's Democrat pushback, or there would be Democrat pushback, especially because a lot of TikTok is hyper woke, and we don't need to get into the intricacies of China controlling the algorithm, which pushes hyper woke stuff on American kids so that China can watch the demise of American culture. But that we can also just agree on the whole spying thing. Maybe China shouldn't be given spying devices across the country. That's probably a bad thing. All right, we talked quite a bit about. Okay, well, let me play this really quick. This is James Clyburn. You know James Clyburn, congressman from South Carolina. This guy single-handedly not won Joe Biden the election, got him through the primary. If you remember, after the Iowa caucus and the New Hampshire primary, Joe Biden's political presidential campaign was dead. Like dead. I forget who won those two, the caucus and the primary, but Joe Biden was like in third or fourth, like something crazy. Kamala Harris, by the way, didn't even participate in the Iowa caucus, if you recall that. But it all kind of came down to South Carolina, and James Clyburn, who controls a lot of the vote there, endorsed Joe Biden, got a bunch of people to vote for him, and revitalized his presidential campaign. James Clyburn went on MSNBC to talk about the age of the president, and I was kind of curious to see what he said, because there's a huge push from the media, a lot of Democrats, to say, "Hey, Joe Biden, don't run again in 2024. We're not having it." And as big of a driver in the primary as James Clyburn is, I was curious to see what he said. Does he say, yeah, Joe Biden is too old, or does he say, yeah, it's fine? Well, listen for yourself, because this is fascinating. This, again, presidential politics for 2024. It's going to be interesting to see how it works out. Obviously on the Republican side, but very much so on the Democrat side. Like, does Joe Biden run? Does he have support of the big-time players in the Democratic Party? Right now, I would say no. But remember, in 2020, the 2020 election, Joe Biden was politically dead. And then James Clyburn, this guy right here, pulled him from the ashes and to victory in the primaries. We'll see if I don't know. Here's what James Clyburn thinks about Joe Biden and his age. Check it out.
What do you say to the folks who say, the guy is too old? Should age be a consideration, or is his record and tenure in the Oval Office right now the thing that folks should focus their attention on?
Everything should be considered, but what is controlling is what you have to do. I have seen a lot of 72-year-olds not as capable as this 80-year-old.
Oh boy. So James Clyburn, the guy again who got Joe Biden elected in South Carolina, right? Says Joe really needs to quit his day job. Yeah, says is not on the hey you're too old side. He's saying, well, I've seen a lot of 72-year-olds that are not as capable as Joe Biden, the 80-year-old, which should be an indication that James Clyburn thinks Joe Biden, 1, is running again, and 2, can win. Which will be a huge blow to a lot of your Democrats, which I'm excited for. Jarring transition here. Let's see. The Grammys were last night. This is mean. This Skyron thing is just mean. That appears to be. I don't know who did this. Maybe it was me, but it might not have been. You never know. If you're just listening to this, there's a photo of Lizzo in what she wore to the Grammys next to Jabba the Hutt, because the two, at least shape-wise, looked very similar. This is too mean. I can't endorse this sort of stuff. This is horribly mean. Having said that, she did decide to wear whatever this big, huge dome of a thing is that made her look like the outline of Jabba the Hutt. A bunch of stuff. This is the Grammys are a weird thing. I am in this particular instance, because I want to make that very clear. In this particular instance, in the sense of the Grammys. Remember when Kanye West got up there and said, I still don't understand award shows. I am on his side on that one. I don't get award shows. That being said, I don't know, just from a culture perspective, Trevor Noah hosted the Grammys, and I think it took 15 minutes for them to make a Trump joke. No Joe Biden jokes, by the way. Actually, Jill Biden came and presented an award. Good for her. No Joe Biden jokes, but Trevor Noah decided to make a Trump joke, and I will play that for you now. It is not super funny, but we're going to play it because just the cultural impact of not being able to let the Trump thing go for lefties is crazy. Check it out.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Doing it, every time I listen to him, I get hips I never knew I had. That album is so fire, it makes Trump want to learn Spanish. That's what it does. This is it, people. Welcome to the Grammys, everybody. Welcome to it.
Yeah, okay, so there's that. Let me go back to this photo. All right. This is too mean. We can't be talking about people like this, especially on this show. But Ryan said it's actually Pizza the Hut from Spaceballs. I do not condone that sort of commentary on this program. I love it. It's very funny. Okay, so going to this too. So this is okay. So here's like kind of a contrary opinion. Just thought in my head here. This is Harry Styles. Harry Styles. I'm going to make this bigger for you. Wore this, a sequenced, colorful, deep overall. Yeah. Basically, a lot of people, especially a lot of people on my side of the aisle, people that I tend to vote with, probably were up in arms about this. What happened to manhood? And I would agree. That's a lot. That's a lot going on there. Having said that, be careful how I word this. There are a lot of people that were very, very upset with this sort of outfit type here. That well, I would go ahead and say aren't necessarily fulfilling their manhood duties as well. So maybe we'll leave that there. That's probably a longer conversation than we have time for now. But just a thought. Yes, I think it's a little demasculating, and men probably should be more manly in today's culture. But at the same time, you know, a lot of people that were very upset about that maybe need some help fulfilling their own manly duties. We'll leave that there. Maybe that's a longer conversation for a different time. All right, want to get to this. Lastly, want to get to this earthquakes versus building codes. If you've been a fan of the show for a long time, you know my displeasure is a kind, nice word for building codes and I don't know, just codes in general. But having said that, this is where, you know, I understand them in some way, shape, or form. Bottom line is, okay, I've talked quite a bit, especially on Instagram, about the ridiculousness of some of the code laws in the state of California, in the area that I live in. I have to do this because the window shades have to be this. It's all crap, except for the structural codes. It's sometimes times like this where I'm glad that we do have some of the codes that we have. There was a massive earthquake in Turkey and then I think also parts of Syria. And well, I'll just play the video. This is a big, huge apartment building. The death toll is soaring that just freaking collapsed during this earthquake. Check this out. So while I think the government building codes in a lot of ways are not useful, just problematic in general, I am thankful that we have some of them at least, because at least our buildings don't just topple over in an earthquake. So there's that. You know what? That'll do it for us today. I appreciate you sticking around, tuning in. If you haven't already, give me a follow on any of your social media accounts. Would love to continue the conversation there. Just type in Jobob pretty much anywhere. You'll be able to find me. Let's see. Lots of show dates coming up. I will put together a website with where I'll be. We've got probably like 15 shows, tour dates lined up, some of them with Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, some of your big names. Super excited for those in the month of March, and then also some stand-up gigs coming up pretty soon. But that'll do it for us today. Appreciate you sticking around, tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. God bless America.